On.
All right, so fire department knocked down the fire for us in our first cell here. We have the patterns we were looking for, but we did have some sheetrock that fell just where near our area of origin, so we lost some of the patterns there. We did get the patterns that we were looking for: calcination, areas of clean burn, lines of demarcation. In this area here, this was our area of origin. Again, calcination, exposed gypsum here, clean burn areas of clean burn, and then our lines of demarcation here. Our materials and the fire patterns are in a V pattern shape, indicating that where our fire started. Our wicker basket, the wicker is all but been completely consumed, more so on the area of origin side as opposed to the other side, the opposite side that has more wicker intact. Our iron that we had on top is still in place. You have a small pattern there that indicates the fire came from this direction. You still have more material to the left than you do to the right. Our couch is a good indicator of fire direction as well. Directional pattern here, the V pattern, you still have more material to the right as opposed to the left-hand side. The upholstery and the foam is completely consumed on this arm, and then on the side of the couch has some alligatoring on the wood, and also consumption of some of the wood materials. And as on this side, you can see the upholstery is still intact. There's still foam on the arms. The back of the chair, there's still foam on the lower right-hand side. We have some sagging, not necessarily annealing of those springs, but some sagging of the steel springs. And the upper portion where there was a spring is completely gone, probably fell down in the back of the chair. That's where the fire was moving, out and up behind the chair. We still have 3 springs intact. And if you look down inside the foam material into the chair too, where the fire moved laterally from radiant heat, we have consumption of the wooden materials here and also the foam material down low, and it's still intact here. As the fire went up directly above the area of origin, you have a clean burn pattern that we were looking for too. That's in the form of a whitish, and in this case bluish color. And so the fire moved up and laterally out as the heat started to come down, bank down from the ceiling. You can see very clear lines of demarcation along the walls here, from the dark to the white. So those are really good demarcation lines. As the fire banked down here, we look at our nightstand and our TV, plastic TV with a tube type glass tube inside the TV. This TV tube actually built up enough heat inside there in that space and exploded and blew glass fragments out onto the coffee table. There's 2 different types of glass. This glass is from the wine glass that was here, but the thicker tube TV glass actually blew out from the TV, and we heard that in the video as the fire was burning. Directional patterns on the nightstand. You can see the blistering of the nightstand moving down in a pattern in this direction here, kind of indicating the fire is moving in this direction, up and out. Ignited the TV, melted the plastic materials. The wiring doesn't look like it. Well, this is fiber metal. See if we can take a look at what the wiring did back here. Yeah, it's all just melted, and that's from heat, indicating that the fire attacked it. Obviously not the cause of this fire. And then on top we had it's actually another part of the TV, the side of the TV, that melted and fell out. So, and then in the back we had a metal box that was sitting on top of the TV at the time of the fire. When the TV failed, melted, the metal box fell into the back, and that's the reason for that location. If you look at the coffee table, this has some really good directional burn patterns on it. Obviously you can see the lines of demarcation on this table. The material down below was not attacked by the fire at all. In fact, it doesn't even look like it off-gassed or anything. This is the furthest point from the area of origin. The entire top of the table looks like it was off-gassing, and it actually was igniting. We can see that in the previous video. There was actual flame that we saw on top of the table. Wine glasses here. We have some crazing, which is a pattern, but doesn't necessarily mean it was the hot, fast-moving fire. It was just a change in temperatures, about a 70-degree temperature from the ambient temperatures that changed when the fire department put their hose streams in here. Next to it, on the table, you can see a 9-volt battery. That 9-volt battery is surrounded by melted plastic and wires. That was our smoke detector that was mounted directly above where we found the smoke detector. And if you look at the ceiling, you can see a screw hole and it looks like a piece of melted plastic still around the screw that's still in place right here. Yep. It was mounted with only one screw. Kind of interesting though, there's no clean burn to show exactly where that thing was at the time of the fire. Usually if it stays up there a little bit longer, you'll have a protected area, not a clean burn, a protected area that will show it the location. Real quick, over here in this area, we had the mirror that fell. This was on the wall. We'll lift it up. We got the glass on the ground, but you can see some burn patterns from the top down from the mirror. Mostly top down burning. In this location over here, we had another DeWalt battery charger over there in the corner, not plugged into anything, but you can see the temperatures on the floor were enough to melt that plastic or thermoplastic DeWalt charger. And then this is the lampshade that was on the lamp that's found here now. It was on top of this wicker basket at the time of the fire. Going back to this table, the top of the table, the directional patterns here. Let me get a shot from the side. You can see, we can see we have a little bit of alligatoring. Probably bad in this video, but we'll videotape it when we get outside. But more damage on this side, alligatoring, indicating the fire came from this back wall.
Just from this angle here now. Too much light.
Last thing here, we have this lamp screwed to the ceiling. It fell exactly in this location. And what we tried to do is keep the bulb intact, so see if we can get it to point in the direction of travel, but it looks like it fractured probably when it fell on the ground. But I don't see any direction indicators on the filament inside the light. But we gave that one a try. This metal ball here possibly shows some good indicators. You got more burning on the side of the direction of travel, the direction the fire was coming from on this side, and on the opposite side it's less. Doesn't have as much soot. Doesn't appear to have taken as much heat as the other side. We had a couple more wine glasses on this table. Here's the stem and some of the thinner glass here, but it looks like it probably was hot, and when this lamp came down, it probably fell and fractured this wine glass. And there was another one in this area as well that also appears to have been broken. In fact, I think it fell on the floor. Yeah, it's over here. This one was, here's the other wine glass that was on this table, somewhere in this area.
That's a good craze on that one there.
Yeah, really good crazing too. And also the sit pattern too, if you get it from this location, this direction, see the sitting, you got the sitting on the outside and on the inside, and you don't on the opposite side. So the whole glass is crazed, but the soot appears to have binded a little bit more on the direction of fire travel. Also in this area here, we had a rectangular plastic bin with nothing in it. It was empty. Not sure what this is from, but this was our plastic bin, and it's completely melted. This is what's left of the thermoplastic container. This was our Motrin bottle. There was nothing in it, so it's semi-intact, but it was definitely melting, but didn't completely melt like the basket adjacent to it did. So yeah, it's
The plastic foam, the heat.
this looks like the cardboard part that you find inside the cap, on top of the cap, and it's still intact. Some wiring damage from our metal ball here. You can see the wiring here. It melted the sheathing. It discolored some of the copper conductors, but it didn't melt all the way through. And the rest of the sheathing on this appliance is still intact too. Let's look at a couple of, we have a picture here. This is still intact, but you can see it left a protected area on the shape of the picture that was there. So that's a good pattern as well. The wooden frame has charred quite a bit. The area, the paper on the sheetrock behind it's kind of blistered and starting to flake away. And as you move more towards your direction of travel, you have almost total destruction of the paper, and you start moving that way and get the clean burn. Another line of demarcation here. And other than that, I think we're ready to move this furniture out. Maybe get a good video out in the light real quick.
All right.